almost exactly 7 months to the day, today being the 28th of September 2025, and 7 months ago was the 26th of February 2025, I started my Mounjaro journey. And over the last few days, I must admit I have cheated. I weighed early because I didn't do a video on Wednesday. I hit my target on Wednesday night when I weighed myself. That target being near enough, bar a couple of pounds. Well, it was 91.2 kilograms, which is pretty much my revised target. Now, that target was revised because I hit my initial 15 stone weight a while ago, only a short while ago, actually. But I hit my target and I thought I need to come up with a real proper plan of maintaining this now, because I hadn't got one, and I'd admitted to that before and to people that had commented on the videos as well. So I have a plan. So this video is going to be about me hitting my target, which I am absolutely pleased as punch about, obviously. And in 7 months, I have hit a target that I never dreamed would be possible, of actually getting myself into a normal weight, going from, if you look, these pictures are from earlier this year. I'll put them up on the screen now. This was me. This is the reason why I started this journey. This is a picture of me when I first started videoing and sharing my vlogs, my experiences, literally putting my life in front of you guys to try and sort of share what's going on with me, and also to share the experiences and the reasons why. And you all know the reasons why I started this, people that follow the channel. It was high blood pressure, it was just feeling rubbish, and also high cholesterol. So it was health reasons. And I've said it many times before that I literally was a heart attack waiting to happen. My starting weight was 135.6 kilos, which is 299 pounds, and in old money that's 21 stone 5 pounds, there or thereabouts. On Wednesday night I weighed in at 91.2 kilos, which is 201 pound, 14 stone 4 pounds. And I honestly can't remember the last time I was 14 stone 4 pound. I literally would have been walking around a school yard, attending classrooms, wearing a school uniform, because as an adult I've never weighed this light. And yes, it's all down to my magic pen, my Mounjaro pen, because the diets I've tried in the past, yeah, I've hit, like I've managed to lose weight in the past with things like Slimming World that I've tried. I didn't join Weight Watchers, but I did the plan with my wife who was on it at the time. I've tried just winging it and just cutting out calories and exercising. When I was younger, I'm in my 50s now, I find it difficult to exercise. With the way the weather's gone recently, I found it difficult to get out and do exercise. That is one of the problems we certainly have over here in the UK. It's abysmal out there. But I've done a bit, nothing like I should be doing. And I've even considered going back to the gym, which of course is a really good thing, but it's something that I thought I wouldn't do. But I need to do something to maintain, because the other thing, I haven't jabbed for over a week. And as you know, again, if you follow the channel, I've been jabbing twice a week, microdosing a 7.5 milligram pen, which has only just started a new pen, but it's a 10 milligram pen. And I think it was 22 clicks, which gave me 3.75, 22 clicks where you turn the pen, it gives you your dose. And I've still been taking I had been taking the 3.75 from a 10 milligram dose pen, but it hit me on a couple of weeks ago. We mentioned in the videos, what's the plan going forward? Is there an end game? And I admitted I didn't really have one. There sort of was in the back of my mind, but nothing concrete. I like to write notes down and just like I've done on my computer this morning. You can see me looking down. My mind goes blank if I don't do that, to be honest with you. And I made the decision to just wing it with willpower. That happened earlier when I was struggling when I was on the 5 milligram doses weekly, where I wasn't well and things had happened and I had a bit of an infection. And I sort of had 2 weeks where I didn't jab and then started micro dosing. And that worked really well for me. So I literally went cold turkey. It just over a week. So it was not in the Wednesday before. It was the Wednesday before that, which was my last jab, to be honest with you. And it sort of was half a plan, and I just haven't jabbed since. Now I'm only going to see how willpower works for me, to be honest. And I don't know how it's going to work out because there has been a bit of a struggle the last couple of days, especially yesterday being the worst, being a Saturday where I was just catching up with my general stuff around the house type things, dad and husband duties and things like that. And feeling a little bit, more than a little bit peckish actually. And what I want to try and do is just see how I manage. Now I've managed to hit the main target just about, quite well, to be honest with you, without being on the jabs, which is good. But I do feel that it's not going to be that easily maintainable just using willpower alone. So, and the reason I made the decision to do it now is because I was looking to the future and thinking, if I was on my very last pen, and I think this is something really valuable to take hold of here. Imagine you're on your last pen and you're thinking, that's it, I'm finished after this pen. That is a heck of a lot of weight on your mind, let alone on the body, to think that you're on your own afterwards. Whereas I've actually got my next pen now because it's the end of the month, and I got in touch with Checkup and got the pen sorted. So I've still got loads of my 10 milligram pen from this month because I've been microdosing it. And I've got, it's not even next month. It's going to be probably the month after that. I think you get 10.6 doses at the current dose that I'm using. So we're looking up until Christmas that I could use it. Now, if I even go smaller on the doses again, the risk is obviously that it's out of date by the time I get to the end of the pen after a month. And that's the risk. And I mentioned this in last week's video when I said, like what people are saying, oh, you're going past the 30 days. And I'm like, yeah, that's the risk I'm taking. And the recommendations is always don't go past that date because it's saying once it's open, use it within the 30-day period. And I know I'm going past that. But I'm being as clinical and as clean as I possibly can. And just sort of winging a prayer in it really and hoping that everything will be okay. Just be as clinical as you can and as clean as you can. Use your steri wipes to clean up and see how it goes. I've known that people, whether this is a psychological thing, sort of feel that it doesn't work beyond the 30 days. That is really a possibility because that's what the manufacturers are telling us, that the efficacy, the actual use of the drug is much less so after it's used by date. But like I say, it's my risk. I won't harp on about that too much. So the current 10 milligram pen that I've had in the fridge now since the start of the month, the start of September, I've had a couple of doses out of it, but then I will see how it goes. So obviously I'll keep you up to date with how things are working out. But that's what I wanted this week to be about, really. It's a bit of a shift, isn't it, really, for me? So that's where I am. The other thing I wanted to talk about, I've got a definite plan because I'm thinking maintenance. This all came about when somebody asked about will you be on it for life? And I sort of brought up and said, no, I don't think I will be on it for life. But I'm not sure, and I'm still not sure. And I'm glad because some people that comment on the channel might notice that, and I've mentioned Priscilla many times before, and Priscilla's lovely. She sent me her old Wegovy pen here. Now have a look at this. It's so similar, because I've never seen the Wegovy pen. Now, as you know, if you watch the video of my brother Russ that lives in Australia, and I've still got to do a quick update with him to see how he's getting on. And obviously I know he's getting on, but I want you to know how he's getting on as well, because he's on Wegovy. And I know that it's not as effective, certainly not as effective for him. But I hope Russ isn't watching this. We had a chat on, and this is me going off on another tangent again. We had a catch up on FaceTime last weekend, and he was saying, "Oh yeah, it's going okay. I feel like the weight goes up and down. I put a little bit on." And as we're chatting, he's taking a swig of Pepsi out of a full-fat, sugared Pepsi, and I'm thinking, yeah. Whereas you know that I have really tried to tailor my eating habits and diet. And I don't knock anybody for doing this. There are so many people that just eat normally, but just sensibly. And you've got to enjoy your food. But it just made me chuckle to think that mine is. And do you know what? I brought these the other day. I love lemon Fanta. But I was going to drink this while I'm filming, because like in between clips I'll have a sip just to keep, because you get ever so dry doing this, And I haven't opened it because I've just realised it's not a diet one, so I'm going to have to go. I've got some other pops out there, so someone else will have to have them. Russ, do you want them? I know you like lemon. Anyway, I'm waffling, like I say. But no, Priscilla sent this through, and I was so pleased to have a look at it before, because my plan will be, once I finish the Mounjaro pen, which it's going to be, I'll probably have to get the order in at the end of October, but it'll be waiting for me, and I think it'll be Wegovy. And who I'm with checkup are so easy to click over. They'll do a quick consult with you and how you're getting on, and you just tick a box. And obviously it's cost as well, isn't it? So, but this, look, is the Wegovy pen. It's very similar. You've got the vial here, you've got the dial, which is all used up, obviously. It's an empty pen now. The needles go on the same. It will prime the same. I don't know if there's a golden dose in here as such. Maybe someone can let me know on that one. So this is what we'll be looking at probably towards Christmas, to see how the switch from Mounjaro goes to Wegovy. Now, we're a long way off this, because I'm actually drug-free at the moment. I have nothing going into me, and didn't jab last night, didn't jab Wednesday. I'm not jabbing today. We'll see how it goes for Wednesday. Do my best to update you with that, because I want to see how the willpower goes. I had a few treats yesterday, gave in. And this sort of reminds me of something I did want to mention, actually, purely because this week I've had a couple of people at work ask me if I'm okay. And I'm like, yeah, why? Someone mentioned this on my face, which is, I'm brilliant. I can update you on this. This has been told. This, I have been told, is benign. I had the letter back earlier this week from dermatology. They're not worried at all. They told me to keep an eye on it. And although it's a little bit tender at times, it's being told, it's benign. So thank you for all the well wishes about this. But please, if you've got any blemishes, spots, moles, or anything like that that's growing, hurting, weeping, changes, just get them checked. I got mine checked. It was a colleague at work that really noticed it. People that know you get that used to things like this. They look past it. They don't see it unless there's a massive change. Now, my younger son Ben had noticed this a couple of months ago and said, "Is that all right?" And I just put it down to like my face changes and things like that. And yeah, I didn't feel much, but put it in my mind. And then when people at work were starting to say, "Oh, you need to get that checked out," and another doctor said it this week, and I was able to say, "I've just had the letter, actually. They're telling me it's okay." And he said, "Well, just keep an eye on it." But the same colleague said, he said, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, why?" And he went, "You've lost so much weight." And I said, "Yeah, I've been on Mounjaro plan since February." And he went, "Are you at Target yet?" He says, "Because, he said," and he sort of put his hand on me and said, "I don't want to, you've done really well, obviously." He says, "But you're probably about there now." And I was like, "Well, actually I am." And this was, I think, Tuesday. This is what made me weigh on Wednesday. And I thought, because things like this play on the mind, don't they? Yeah. you're doing something to improve your life, to better yourself where you can, but you don't want it to have the opposite effect where it actually takes over your life and makes you poorly. Leads me on to the last couple of weeks. I haven't felt great, but I just put that down to the winter coming in. But I've had this before, haven't I? So that's the other reason why I'm giving the Mounjaro another break. So it's just to make sure that everything's fine, and that I actually might even just. I was talking to my wife, Rachel, only yesterday. She said, "Are you doing a video this weekend?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "There's a few things I want to mention," and I told her what the plan was. She's told me that I've lost too much weight. Now, she's used to having a big meal about it, isn't she? And we met. I was 17 when we met. Rachel was 18, and I was as a teenager. I was skinny, as yeah, and that's how she remembers me. But then, as I grew into proper adulthood, and I've always been a bigger guy, and I've said this many times before, and sort of struggled with just being overweight most of my adult life. And so that's how she's always known me. And like I've said, this is the lightest I've been that she's ever known me. And it sort of worried her a little bit. Now, and I've tried to explain, look, this is a healthier me. This is me that hopefully will live a bit longer now. Like the me that you knew 6-7 months ago was on the verge of possibly being rushed into hospital one evening with chest pains. And she's like, yeah, but there is a limit. And I sort of hear that. And the other thing is, I do the other channel, Blue Tube, with my son, with Ben. And there's been a few people on there, you might know, football fans, they don't hold back. I've had some right comments, are you all right? You look ill. I've had a few comments, you look ill. And I'm like, oh, thanks, yeah, I'm fine. So, what I'm trying to say is that I'm about there now. I'm not going to be losing any more weight. I'm here. This is me. And I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back, slang talk. I'm going to go back. It's my Brummie accent coming out. To now, I'm 14 stone, 4 pounds in old terminology. That's what a lot of us still use over here. And I think I'm going to broadly monitor my weight at around 14 stone, 14 and a half stone, I think. I always wanted to achieve the target. And if we're looking at 91.2 kilos, which is exactly what I am, or what I was on Wednesday, and I haven't weighed myself since, I'm going to stay at about above that. So if I hit 92 kilos, that will be my buffer, I think. But I'm not going to be too rigid with it. Clearly, if I start putting weight on and my health and my diet is just going out the window, then I will need to look at it. But I still feel that I need the support of something like this to help. And I don't know how this is going to work for me, so this will be interesting. Switching from Mounjaro, it's not going to be just yet, so we've got a bit of a way to go just yet. But I think those people that have been with me along the way, and I've got many people hitting targets. There was Dale earlier in the year, he sent his pictures in for me, and I've got more pictures to share with you. It won't be today because I haven't had time to get them off the emails and the messages, but those people that have sent pictures in, thank you very much. I've got a few now. Keep sending them in because we'll always use them. We'll get them out for Wednesday. And I've got a footballing one to do after this as well. So that's that. So the plan is just to maintain it now. And honestly, you know when you plan something, but it's sort of pipe dreams, empty dreams, and you're thinking to yourself, oh, I'd love that. That'd be nice. And you don't know what to do when you get there. I'm a little bit like that at the moment. It's really, really, it's brilliant. I'm chuffed, but it feels absolutely weird. I'm like, it's almost like the old me wants to burst back out and start, right, can we eat again now? Especially this week because of the suppression hasn't been there. And I've literally been on my own with it. I need to find some motivation to get back onto the weights again. Amy messaged me this week and said, "Are you still working out?" And I said, "I haven't worked out as much." And since I had that message with Amy, I haven't done it again. But usually that's the sort of things like, yeah, that's right, I need to really get back onto it. But it just hasn't. So if anyone can send me some motivation just to get some energy again. But like I say, it's like so dull. I've had to put the lights on in here. I'm in the kitchen today. I put a bit of a backdrop up for you just to make it look a bit more professional. Does it work for you? Let me know. It's better than just looking at my living room wall, isn't it? So that's where we are. It's a bit of a short, sweet, but momentous occasion. It should be fireworks and confetti and celebrating, really, and going out for a kebab to celebrate. No, not really. I'm only joking. This is where we carry on, isn't it? This is where we continue going, because the people that follow the channel, there's many people that are about the same as me now. There's people that have been on it for longer than me. There's people that are just starting out on their journeys. That's why I need to keep this going, for me to maintain and for you to push on and maintain. And yes, it was all about my journey, but I've really realized over the last 6 months, and I want to thank everybody for this, that we're all in this together. And that's why the support is absolutely invaluable on here. And we need to keep that support going. So I'm going to keep doing these as long as people are interested. And that's all it is for me. There's something else I've been meaning to mention for months now, but we'll do this on another one where we get back into the exercising. I got sent one of these massage gun things from a company called Bob and Brad, and it's been out there since I went on holiday in July, but I haven't done any of the exercise videos. Is that something that's going to be useful for people? Because I keep promising it. I did do a little chair one, but it wasn't a very good video. Rachel started doing it with me as well. Rachel, my wife, for those that don't know. Are these things that might help people? I know there's been a couple of people that have mentioned it. Let me know. Let me know if you think it will help. It might motivate me to doing a bit more as well. I've even thought about jogging, but I've got to be careful of my knee. We all know that I had surgery on my knee, and my knee's not the greatest. But I'm at a target weight now. If I can't do something like that now, I never will. But I'm waffling again, aren't I? You know what I'm like these days. So there we are. So yeah, target achieved. Maintenance ongoing now. Let's see how it goes. So use this to push on. Use this to maintain yourselves. And if you're thinking about doing something like Wegovy or Mounjaro that's in the fridge, and if you've got one in the fridge, I've got plenty of videos where I do the jabs. The jabs are easy. And yes, I'm in the medical field, but they're so easy. Just follow the steps. Look at my old videos if you need some help with them. Don't leave it sitting in the pen. Get on it. They're too expensive, especially now, to just not use. See how you get on. Always remember the nasty side effects. If there's anything nasty that you need to keep an eye, just listen to your bodies. And if you're not sure, always seek that advice. And we'll see. Hopefully I can get a little update out for you on Wednesday for how things are going. Keep the comments coming. I try to respond to them, but I'll definitely read them all. If I give them a little like, you'll know that I've seen them, because I see all of them. I do miss them sometimes, but I do try and get through them. But apart from that, enjoy what's left of the weekend and have a good week ahead, and we'll catch up later next week. Take care.